First one, harness your hopes on just one person because you know a harness was only made for one. Don't telegraph your passes, you'll end up with molasses. Cauterized in syrup and molasses. And I'm checking out, that's actually when he goes high, right? When he goes, and I'm checking out the asses. You are, huh? That attract us. No, I'm checking out, I'm all just, oh my God, asses, you said it.
It's showtime, folks.
Hey everyone, and welcome to another episode of Into the Music. My name is Greg, and I react to some great music. At least that's always my aim, my goal. And I got to tell you, I'm off to a great start with this band. It's called Pavement, and I just reacted on the other side, whatever side that is, to Father to a Sister of Thought. And go check that out. That's dropping on the same day as this one is, and I really like that song. That was my introduction to this band through YouTube, and then this song sort of popped up, and so I'm really excited because, like I said, that other song is fire. I mean, it's not fire like, oh my God, like, you know, lighting everything on fire with amazing rock music. No, it's actually a really nice song, but it's really good. All right, cool. So enough of that. Let's focus in on this song. Here we go. Harness your hopes. Now I'm going to bring that back before it kicked into this kind of groove type of normalcy, so to speak. What the hell was going on in the beginning? There was all these sounds. Bass was doing something really cool. La la la. That's cool.
Don't telegraph your passes, you'll end up with molasses. Cauterized in syrup and molasses. And I'm checking out the asses, the assets that attract us to anything that moves. We're deep inside the grooves, and it's time to shake the rations, cause someone's gonna cash in. The plot, it turns again, the reference starts at 10. Well, show me.
This is really interesting. His voice is different than the one I just reacted to. I haven't dropped it yet. Well, as I'm doing this, Father to a Sister of Thought. And I love that song. I really did. But his voice, it's interesting. Someone, you know, who's kind of a nitpicker when it comes to vocals may not like his vocals in that song, but I find them very endearing. And like, I think necessarily, you know, off key, it just adds, it goes to the charm. It goes to the charm of that song. Here, his voice is actually stronger. Yeah, it's different. It's cool.
A word that rhymes with pavement, and I will kill your parents and roast them on a spit. And don't you try to etch it or permanently sketch it, or you're gonna catch a bad cold. And the freaks have stormed the White House. I moved into a lighthouse. It's on a scene making kiwis, they are home baking minds wide open. Truly, a leisure suit is nothing. It's nothing to be proud of in this late century. And I'm asking you to hold me just like the morning paper. Pinch between your pointer, your index and your thumb. It's a semi-automatic. Believers are ecstatic. You see the way they cling, the cold metallic sting. And I'm living in a coma, Madonna Del Verona. The harness made of hopes, the lovers on the ropes. None is to church as the parrot is to perch, and my heart's wide open, truly.
I'm gonna pull back the little guitar. This is like a poem, I think, like a poem uh, written for a song, or a song written for a poem. Either way, right? Whichever way you look at it. Yeah, it just definitely sounds like reads like a poem. Um, so I'm trying to get. I mean, some of these interesting lines. Kill your parents, put on a spit. That's not so poetic. That's actually downright frightening. But I think in the context of everything else that's kind of being sung, it just makes for really interesting sort of thought imagery. A harness made just for one. Yeah, wow. Yeah, let me pull back the guitar a little bit. I'm really liking this band. These two songs. Wow. Wow. I'm falling in love pretty quick with this band.
Is to perch, and my heart's wide open, truly.
Mm. I just love the rhythm of the song. After it got through the like 15 seconds of what I mean, this is no complaint on my end. I love that beginning. That was so interesting. But then it kicked into this kind of into this groove kind of beat. The rhythm was so good. Everything about this band, these two songs now. This one and again, I'm so bad with song titles. Father to a Sister of Thought. Wow. Yeah, like a really unique sound in both these songs. But I heard that these guys can also play really heavy guitar sound, almost like a metal type of sound. Um, so I wonder if they've had like different sort of lives that they've led as a band. Um, in a previous life, it was kind of metal. What was this before the metal or after? Or I got it wrong. I don't know. So I'm going to pull up information from Wiki on this band and the lyrics. I can't wait to dive into the lyrics. Um, so intriguing. Yeah. All right. See everyone on the other side. Where do I begin with this song? I mean, really? I mean, maybe just make it simple and just start from the beginning. Um, because that beginning was so different than everything else that followed, And so um, it's not like the beginning, sets the tone for the rest of the song. It just was cut from a different cloth. Broke the mold, boom. Once that beginning was done, then it was like a whole different song. Because you had like this la 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 la, like floating, I don't know, like weirdness. It's like if you're in a dark room in the dark night and you hear those voices, better run for the hills. And at the same time, his bass is doing something really kind of innovative, interesting. And then there's like these little guitar notes. And if there's anyone out there watching this who who's familiar with the Meat Puppets, it was that kind of like plucking of notes, whatever, like that. It had that kind of sound. It was just all those guitar notes. Not say, although the Meat Puppets kind of did all their own kind of weird stuff too, which is really cool. Why haven't I done Meat Puppets yet? All right, okay, squirrel. Getting distracted, but yeah, so it was like a blend of all this kind of weirdness, but it was really, really tasty. It was tasty, and I loved it. And I was really intrigued for what was going to come. And then all of a sudden, you got this sort of rhythmic guitar that just like jing 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 da 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 yeah. Oh man. Simple. It went from real kind of weirdness and complex kind, and all of a sudden, like this simple sort of, this rhythmic, beautiful guitar. And his voice was kind of this different. And I don't know how to describe it, because when it was like, then there was that part where because then he went high, and every time he went high, it was like da 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 boom boom, and then he would go whoa wah, and he would go high, and there was like that sort of like almost like a very kind of unhinged, but like you see it, like it's lurking, the real potential of it, like an unhinged kind of, he's trying to control it, but unhinged, almost like a punk kind of sound to feel, every time he went high. So it had that kind of feel. It was like a mix of punk with like grunge. And then he would come back, and I mean, his voice is basically high pitched overall, but he would just go high, and it was really interesting. It brought an edge every time he went high. There was that edge, and that just that contrast, it made it even more interesting, and just rhythmic. I mean, that's the thing, that after the weird beginning, then that guitar that kicked in, that set the tone for the rest of the song. It's just rhythmic, movement. I mean, overall, it's an indie rock sound. But again, you had these sort of elements, feel of like punk a little bit, again, when he would go high, and even grunge, like I said. Yeah. Yeah. And I was mentioning too in the song, like poetry, because I was trying to keep up with what he was singing, but I try not to really let that distract me, because I always know I can go to the lyrics on the other side, like now. So in a few minutes we'll go into it. But yeah, but like, well, this is not poetry. Well, I mean, I don't know if he said I will or I won't kill your parents and put them on a spit. So what's poetic about that, Craig? Like, you got some weird sense of really good poetry. No, but I mean, that was an interesting line. But there was a lot of other stuff that he was singing too that just took you down this road of like imagery, and it just really did seem like he wrote a poem for the song. But we'll find out when we get into the lyrics. So yeah, and then that ending was really cool. It ended on like on a sort of a last few guitar notes, almost as though, was it similar to what was in the beginning? No, I think it was a little deeper than that. Yeah. So yeah, this is thumbs up. So these two songs, oh man, like I said, I'm falling in love with this band. Fallen in love with this band. So let me get into the band, find out about them. And so here we go, Pavement. They are an American indie rock band that formed in Stockton, California in 1989. 1989. Okay, this song, man, this song sounds recent. It does not sound like anything in the 80s. Not by a long stretch. For most of their career, they had to put this out later. Pavement, okay. So most of their career, The group consisted of Stephen Malkmus, vocals, guitar, Scott Canberg, guitar and vocals, Mark Ibold, bass, Steve West, drums, Bob Nastanovich, percussion and vocals. So this was initially conceived as a recording project, this band, Pavement, while attracting considerable underground attention with their early releases. They gradually evolved into a more polished band. Pavement recorded 5 full-length albums and 10 EPs over the course of their decade-long career. Though they disbanded with some acrimony in 1999 as the members moved on to other projects. And then in 2010, they undertook a well-received reunion tour with another reunion tour across Europe and the United States scheduled for 2022. That's it. Okay, like we're talking about now. They put out a new album. All right, I normally don't go through a lot of information in Wiki anymore. I just kind of just do like a first paragraph. So, but now I'm really intrigued. I have genius.com pulled up, the lyrics, and a lot of times, in fact, let me look right now, because then I'll feel better. Because sometimes they have contributors who write stuff about, okay, there's someone writing, okay, and there's a lot of stuff actually. There's some good information, I think. Okay, 1999. All right, that's all I know. Let me go back to, so I'm really intrigued about 2022. What's going on there? Okay, and so they were going to perform in 2021. Things got canceled because of COVID, and they're going to tour in the summer of 2022. I've got to check that out. I got to see if they're coming around here. All right, so let me go into genius.com. So the contributor here says, Harness Your Hopes was originally an incredibly obscure, that's what they're saying, obscure B-side by the band on the Spit on a Stranger single, which quietly released in 1999. It was also released as a separate single in France. For a long time, the song was, I mean, even 1999, it's still, I don't know. I just thought it was actually more modern day. I thought it was closer to today. For a long time, the song was largely unknown to most except the most seasoned Pavement fans, to the point where frontman Stephen Malkmus did not even recognize the song when he heard it played in a bakery. Upon Spotify rolling out its autoplay feature in 2017, the song quickly became the band's most popular on streaming services for no discernible reason, and became popular as a song on TikTok. Really? That's really interesting. Wow. Is that why they're touring now in 2022? They're trying to take advantage of the regained popularity of this song and also the band in general? That's really interesting. All right. Wow. Wow, this band's really getting interested, more interested by the second. Verse 1. I gotta try to check them out now. Verse 1, harness your hopes on just one person, because you know a harness was only made for one. Don't telegraph your passes, you'll end up with molasses. Cauterizing syrup and molasses. And I'm checking out, that's actually when he goes high, right? When he goes, and I'm checking out the asses. You are, huh? That attract us. No, I'm checking out, I'm all just, oh my God, asses, you said it. And I'm checking out the asses, the assets that attract us to anything that moves. We're deep inside the grooves, yeah. And it's time to shake the rations because someone's gonna cash in the plot. It turns again. The reference starts at 10. Wow, these lyrics are really cleverly written. I don't know what the hell he's talking about, but I love reading them off, man. Just as much as I loved actually hearing him sing them in that song. Verse 2, well, show me a word that rhymes with Pavement, the band, and I won't kill your parents and roast them on a spit. Boom. And don't you try to etch it or permanently sketch it, or you're gonna catch a bad, bad cold, and the freaks have stormed the White House. And again, I think that's where he goes high again. I moved into a lighthouse. It's on a scenic way. It's oh so far away from the beginning. The shroud is made of linen. The yearling took the purse the goth kid has a hearse. To me, it's like Beatles again. She comes in through the bathroom window. Sounds good. Uh, you like to think that the words are saying something, but it's just, I think it's great ear candy. I really do. But folks out there who know this band, this song, let me know otherwise. If you think that I'm absolutely looking in the wrong direction on this. But again, let me be clear. I love this song. I love the lyrics. Doesn't have to mean anything. It serves a purpose, It's just so interesting. It's like abstract. You could take each line by itself, the whole father and mother on a spit, whatever, and you could just really dissect those lines kind of like as separate entities, and you can have a field day. It's cool. It's good. It's good. And then heartbreaking chorus 1, heartbreaking, earthquaking, Kiwis, they are home bacon, minds wide open truly. And then verse 3, leisure suit is nothing. It's nothing to be proud of in this late century. And I'm asking you to hold me just like the morning paper, pinched between your pointer, your index, and your thumb. It's a semi-automatic, believers are ecstatic. You see the way they cling, the cold metallic sting. Yeah, I mean, come on, this is great. Again, the imagery. And I'm living in a coma for Donna Di Verona. Who's that? The harness made of hopes, the lovers on the ropes. And then chorus 2, none is to church as the parrot is to perch. I mean, I'm like, okay, this is really deep. But then I'm like, well, a nun is to church as the parrot is to perch. Yeah, both of them need each other, Yeah, maybe the other way around too. The church needs the nun and the perch needs the parrot. Otherwise, why does the perch exist? Right? And the church, well, they'll exist without nuns, but they're part of the church, right? Yeah. And my heart's wide open truly. See, already I went down a rabbit hole with the whole nun church stuff and parrot and perch. This is great. Man, I'm so intrigued. Pavement coming to a concert venue near you. I gotta check it out now, see if they are coming around here. In the meantime, what'd you think about the song, this reaction? This band that's now seems to be back together and gonna make themselves known throughout the world. I don't know how long big the tour is, but yeah. Are you gonna go try to see them? Let me know. Engage with me. Tell me, put comments in. In the meantime, I hope to see every one of you on the next episode of, and go check that other one out that I dropped today. See everyone on the next episode of Into the Music.